Hi everyone, thank you very much for watching my video and for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. You're probably wondering, something is missing in my garage. Jaguar, Beetle, and Tiguan. Do you know what's missing? It's my Porsche Cayenne Turbo. I gave up this week, that's right. I gave up. I just couldn't figure out what's wrong with it. So for the first time, I sent my Porsche Cayenne Turbo to a Porsche mechanic. He's really nice. His name is Jose. He's the guy I described in previous video. He's the guy who told me to change the what do you call that, the differential fluid. I just can't figure it out. So anyway, in this video, I just want to talk about why three things why Uber should treat their drivers more fairly and pay the driver more. Okay, because when I took my Porsche Cayenne Turbo to the mechanic, I live in Virginia, far and away from Fairfax. I mean, my mechanic is in Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm near Quantico, so that's around 45 to an hour and 20 minutes. That's right. I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. It's like woods area. But yeah, it's really hard to go from Fairfax, Virginia to Quantico area. So anyway, to make long story short, I decided to drive my Porsche with that differential issue, and I made it to Fairfax. And guess what? The first thing that I had to do, I had to look for Uber ride to go back, because it takes at least what, 50, it says 28 minutes, but it's probably around like 15 minutes because of the traffic. If you live in Virginia or Maryland, the Beltway 495, 95, they're a nightmare. They're just awful. And number one, why Uber should treat their drivers nicer and pay them more, because driving is frustrating job. I was like, holy cow, with the amount of traffic that we had to go through yesterday from Fairfax all the way to Quantico area, it was awful. It was around 2 p.m. when when he picked me up, and I was like, holy cow. And he started to get frustrated because people, if you live in Virginia and DC metro area and Maryland, you know what I'm talking about, right? People are crazy. During rush hour, they just become really crazy. They drive crazy. Like they become, like, I don't know, very disrespectful on the road. So anyway, to make long story short, this guy started to become he tried to keep his composure. Your drivers, Uber, your drivers, they go through a lot of stress. Come on. I've heard so many stories that they can they can barely make a living out of it. It's like the company make more. It costs $66. What do you call that? To go from Fairfax all the way to Quantico area. So anyway, that was pretty bad. So anyway, yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, you should pay your driver more, because driving is very frustrating. And it's crazy how how little money they make with the amount of stress that they experience. It's on the road. It's like, and this guy was nice. It was so funny because he doesn't speak English. He's from Beijing, China. And I pull up my Google Translate app, so we were communicating through what do you call that, through the app. And I was like, I typed the English words and sentences, and I played in Chinese for him. So that was the funniest Uber ride. He's a nice guy. He tried to be patient and trying to put up with the traffic. And he told me, man, I drive 12 hours a day. I was like, 12 hours a day? Do you make a lot of money? I'm like, yeah, it's not really. So it's a struggle for him. And what's sad about it, his car, he has a really nice Toyota Camry. And then I look at the mileage. I thought it was 12,600 miles, okay? Because it's 2018 Camry. I said, wow, you only have 12,600 miles. And he said, no, 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 no. Look, and then he kind of do the sign language thing. He couldn't speak English, so like, look closer. And then I'll look closer. It was 126 thousand, and 600 miles. I was like, holy cow, you acquire so much miles. Again, number two, these drivers need to repair their car. Come on, Uber, give them more money. I mean, the depreciation and the amount of mileage that they acquire in their car. I mean, this is 2019, okay? He bought that Camry in 2018. Uh, Come on, these drivers have to repair stuff. They have to. Can you imagine? Car oil change has to be done every what, 5,000 to 10,000 miles, and he has 126,600 miles already on his 2018 Camry. I was like, holy cow, that is crazy. So number one, Uber, pay your driver because it is stressful to be out there, especially in DC metro area. I know they choose to drive, but come on, at least show them appreciation and pay them more. And number two, again, pay them more because look, the amount of wear and tear they have to deal with their car. I mean, his Camry, I think, is start to fall apart. It's like, I mean, he tried to maintain it, and it was nice and clean, but still, holy cow, that's a lot. And again, number three, pay them more, treat them more because there's insurance, there's other expenses. They try to make a living, and then it's crazy. And I was like, actually, I felt for him. He was stressed. I think he was struggling financially because he even told me, I had two, three coffee cups. He said, coffee cups, sleepy. He said, oh, you had to drink 3 cups of coffee because you are sleepy. Yes, yes, yes. 12 hours drive. I said, driving where 12 hours? Just around DC. I said, oh, okay, good, good. So yeah, it's I feel like, you know, I work with the Marines. Sometimes when I see like young recruits who don't make a lot of money, there were 4 of them. In fact, I was going to this restaurant style, looked like a Chipotle, and 4 Marines were behind me. So I said to the cashier, "Hey, those Marines, I'll pay for their food because it's hard, when you're a young recruit, you don't make a lot of money, and sometimes when I see them, I just pay all their meal. Like it's the same thing with the Uber driver yesterday. He was so stressed out. He was so nice. So he drove me home, and we got here, and I gave him like $20 tip, just like cash, just like, and he looked at me like, "Are you sure that you want me to have this $20?" Yeah. Come on, man. It's like he couldn't believe it. It's like, who gave him $20? Apparently, a lot of Uber's drivers are being exploited by people who are richer than them, right? That's not right. Come on, Uber. These drivers are being exploited by people who have more money. It's just crazy, right? This is why I don't like this. I mean, come on. Just 3 things. Treat them nicely because they do need what? Yeah, again, it's stressful job, just driving in the traffic all day. You guys in the corporate office don't know about this, right? Because you're in the office, but the people who's doing the battle on the road needs to get paid more. Number two, the car maintenance. For goodness sakes, this driver is struggling to keep the maintenance of his car. 126,600 miles. That's crazy, man. And number three, again, they have to live. How is he supposed to pay insurance and all that stuff? And most people don't tip Uber driver, that they think, when the ride is over, you're supposed to tip. Most people don't do it. So, which is sad, really sad, because you guys take so much money out of them. This is what they're complaining about. I mean, this guy worked 12 hours a day, okay? And I started to worry. I said, are you okay? Are you sleepy? So anyway, yeah, when it's just like when I pay for these young Marines, like their meal, when I go out to eat, it's like the same thing with the Uber driver. His eyes were like light up, like, oh my God, are you sure, sir? Yes, have 20 bucks. You've been such a nice driver. I mean, even though you cannot speak English, at least we're trying our best to communicate, even though we use like the, what do you call that? Yeah, the app, whatever it is. Anyway, if you guys ride Uber, please tip your Uber driver if he's nice or she is nice, because they don't make a lot of money. And Uber, please treat your drivers better. I mean, Uber is important, integral part in this area. Especially, we need Uber drivers. We need to keep your Uber drivers happy, or people like us, we won't have Uber ride anytime soon, because if more Uber drivers are quitting, who's gonna take care of us? Like people like me who had to travel far to places like Quantico where there is no metro line or train from Fairfax. It's really difficult, and Uber drivers are very important. Lyft driver is important. So anyway, make sure guys, please respect your Uber drivers and tip them if they're really good, because they do need the money. Especially some people really are struggling financially when they drive Uber. As for me, as long as I make money, I'm gonna try to help people who are less fortunate, because there are people out there who are a lot less fortunate than we are. So I encourage you not to exploit them and treat them with respect. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.